right from the start in the first episode of this series, I mean, you could tell it has a little bit of everything. It's not necessarily a comedy, not necessarily a drama. It's not necessarily purely sci-fi. So how would you both kind of describe it?
A dramedy, for sure.
Um,
Go ahead,
a
Alice.
sci-fi, a sci-com drama.
Ooh,
Psychopomedies, maybe. And there's all
Psychopomedy.
kinds of different ways you could describe it, I guess.
Sci-com dramedy
humdrum.
bomb.
Yeah. Relatable, human, messy dramedy.
Messy but clean.
Clean,
Yes,
But
messy,
Amblin wants us to say that.
clean, messy.
messy but clean. I like that. I like that. Now you can see also that there's, I mean, something very off about Harry. I think that's an easy way to describe it. So it seems like everybody realizes it, but without really spoiling anything, what can you tell us about Asta and Darcy's first impression of him?
Oh, wow. Darcy's turned on, and I'm going to let
Darcy's
you take.
intrigued. Darcy's intrigued, to say the least. Honestly, Harry Vanderspiegel is like some of the dudes on my baseball team. There's this one guy who never wears a shirt and he lives in a boat and is monosyllabic. And you're like, once you've met enough people, you're just like, oh, Harry's not that weird.
Yeah.
But Asta has a more grounded reaction, I think.
Asta's, first of all, he comes in acting like he knows what he's doing as a doctor, and it's obvious that he really is so bizarre at sniffing body parts and like what is going on in that very first pilot, that she is so like offended the way he's handling a man she really respected, but then also she's so, like intrigued, and he says things so truthfully, just like word vomit coming out of his mouth, and she's had a hard time trusting men. So it's almost like a complete opposite of her normal experience with men. And then she starts to feel like, well, maybe this is a guy I can trust, actually. And then Darcy's turned on. So, and that's her best friend. So she's like, oh yeah, he can't be that bad, I guess.
Yeah, I never thought about how Darcy being attracted to him makes Asta kind of have to give him a chance.
Yeah, makes me feel safe, like a little bit safer.
Yeah. Oh, this is just another dude that she can handle him.
I mean, you could tell right away when you walk into the bar, though, that Alice is kind of the one you want to go to get answers, right? I mean, to go, Darcy's the one you need to go to get answers, right? Because she's the bartender, she's got the pulse of the town. So how plugged in is she to patients?
Yeah, I mean, Patience is the vortex that keeps sucking Darcy back. And, she's reluctant, but she is the town soothsayer. She knows everything about it. And she knows all the gossip and all the different, she's incredibly bored by it, but she knows it.
So, Sarah, I feel like, Harry is a big focus of the show, obviously. We get to find out quite a bit about Asta's backstory in this very first episode. So, were you surprised to find out the fans would get to know her so quickly in this first episode?
I was surprised and grateful, to be quite honest, because I think getting right to the messy and vulnerable is exactly where we need to begin. It's the best place. She's picking herself up after this horrifically abusive relationship and having to go back to live with her father in a town where she grew up, but because she's adopted, she feels like, she doesn't quite fit in or belong anywhere in any one box. And then here comes this guy that she's so weirded out by, and yet he feels like somebody that also maybe doesn't belong. And so there feels like this wonderful familiarity and friendship there. And I think it's so nice to just get right to the fact that a human and an alien maybe do have more in common. And I think that is right off the bat, the thing that you learn about Asta and Harry. And I think that is what is going to pull people in, frankly.
So it's clear that you guys are having a blast with this show. I mean, right from the jump. But we've talked about some serious stuff here. I think this is the question that the world really wants to know, though. How well do aliens hold their liquor?
Poorly.
Yes.
Who knew that if War of the Worlds had been remade, it wouldn't be the bugs that all we needed to do was give those pardon my French, give those fuckers a shot or two, you know.
And then they would just chill out. My
Yeah.
favorite scene is when he is like, "Whoa, what is that?" And then he's like, "Can I have another?" Which
Yeah.
is so
Very
cute.
relatable.
I love at the end how Asta comes in and swoops in and is like, "Please no," and takes the
Yeah.
shot out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's so funny to witness him experiencing that for the first time, and yet his inner dialogue that you're hearing, like, why would people do this? I must do it more. It's just like a beautiful reminder of how, again, fucked up we are.
Yeah,
I
we've
love
sworn more in this meeting with you, James, and
Yeah,
the rest of the morning.
you're welcome.
So really quickly, who do you think? Obviously, no spoilers, but who would handle the reveal of Harry's secret better? You think Darcy or Asta?
Asta for sure, right? Because yeah, maybe.
I finally trust a guy, finally, and then he tells me the biggest
And he's
lie.
an alien.
Yeah, but like Asta's kind of like ooey gooey, like, you know, Asta definitely has more of a grip of spirituality. Like Darcy's world, I mean, Darcy's a pure atheist. She's definitely like, there's no God. She's nihilistic. And so to arrive at the conclusion that there is life on other planets and other galaxies that have, that is too big of a concept, I think, for her, you know, self-centered world.
I don't know. I feel like you would be so turned on by it. Like,
See, that was my thought too. Actually, that's why I asked.
Maybe, yeah. She'd probably be like, cool.
Yeah, she's down for whatever. So
It's a
I just
notch
figured,
on her
you know.
belt that she didn't expect to get.
Nice.
Thank you,
Awesome.
James.
Well, can't wait for everybody to see it. It's January 27th on Syfy. That's a Wednesday. Ladies, thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you very much, James. Thanks for being here.